Hello, and today I'll be talking to you about languages of the news. This should help me create my local paper for my A2 media work. Right, the first thing I have is going straight to the point, and this is about the intro. Right, in the intro is the most important part of the article. It has to draw the reader into the story, and it should highlight the main theme, angle of the story, and set the tone of the story. There are famous whys, which are who, what, when, where and why, and sometimes there's even how in the mix. In the intro we should not really see all of the whys. We should only have a sum, because the intro is a brief catching to get the audience in to read more of the story. The why in a story sometimes gets missed in the intro. I don't know why, but it gets missed. Maybe it's because people just want to know the news and they don't want to know why it happened. Next I have descriptions and titles. People in the news always are accompanied with titles or descriptions. People with long titles can clog up the intro, so try and avoid this, and I'll try and avoid it in my local newspaper as well. The titles don't always have to be formal. Like you could say, a witness of the car crash, blah 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 blah, and shorten it like that, so it's not that formal. Timing is important when doing the intro, because the news has to be up to date, because the more the news is up to date, the more sellable it is. You wouldn't want to have a news report that was a week old, because then it's old news. Everybody knows about it. So this covers the when factor in newspapers. Right, this is important. The where factor is important for the difference between local and national papers. I found out that local papers include the where very much early in the intro, because it stresses the local angle, because it stresses the local theme of a local newspaper. But in national papers they delay the where, because it's national and people really just want the news. The word count is important in the intro. The maximum number of words in an intro should be 30. In the examples I've seen, it has ranged from 10 to 30. I would rather like to have my intro at about 24 words in between there, and it'd be a nice target to get. Brightness. You need to remain true to your style. You need to try and use active verbs and strong nouns. As I say about remain true to your style, every newspaper has a style, and it's how they identify, and it's how one newspaper is unique from the other. So you need to keep true to your style, so then people can identify your paper. Things to avoid. You need to avoid using negatives, and I've got the book. I'm going to take a quote out of the book for this, the example they gave me, and it said, for instance, instead of the Foreign Office would today neither confirm nor deny the 2 British pilots had been released by Saddam Hussein, but instead you need to say the Iraqis are reported to have freed 2 British police, but the Foreign Office was non-committal. So in this case they've steered around being negative, and they've made it all positive. So this is what I should have in my local newspaper. Also, it's bad to begin in numerals. It's just something I found out. It's rule not to start in numerals. Last thing is how to soften your news report. One way is to begin with a question, because then you're connecting with the audience. Also, starting with a direct quote. Right, I got all this information from a book that I borrowed from the library, and this is called The Newspaper Handbook, there, and it's by Richard Kibley. It's a very handy book, and yeah, I found a lot of information for this video session from that book. So that's my reference. I hope you liked the video, and this will go on my blog, and I hope you like the other stuff on my blog.